This is the 6th video that goes with Chapter 4 for Google SketchUp for Dummies. This video deals with getting a good view. Basically, we've been drafting in a 2D non-perspectival overhead view, basically looking straight down with no perspective. And that's really the easiest way to draft in 2D in SketchUp if you have to do that. But now what we want to do is start working in 3D again. So there's some steps you have to take to move from 2D to 3D, and let's just go through those steps. So first thing I'm going to do is go up to the camera menu and choose perspective. So before, see how we were in parallel projection? We're going to go back to perspective again. And when I go to perspective, you're not going to see much happen except that all of a sudden you see a little blue axis sticking off to the side. And that means that all of a sudden we're not just looking straight down, we're kind of in a skewed perspective view right now, but that's okay. Now we're going to go up to camera, standard, and ISO to go to kind of a 3/4 view. And now I can see all my axes. I've got the blue and the red and the green, and I can see what I just drafted kind of nice and flat on the ground like that. And then what I'm going to do is hit the Zoom Extents button. Now I could just use the button, which is right here. I think in the book I say to do it from the camera menu. So let's go to Camera, Zoom Extents right here. And when you do that, it kind of fills your whole screen with the thing. And the last thing I'm going to do is change my field of view from 35 to 45 degrees. Now, the field of view is basically how much you can see. If you imagine looking through a paper towel roll, you have a very narrow field of view. You can only see what's at the end of that. On the other hand, human eyesight, along with your peripheral vision, is actually quite wide. It's a very wide angle. You can see a lot. So what we want to do is widen our angle of view. It just makes it a little bit easier to model in SketchUp. What I'm going to do to change my angle of view is go to Camera, Field of View, and then notice down here in the lower right in the VCB it says my field of view is 35 degrees. I'd like that to be 45 degrees, so I'm going to type in 45 and enter. And now I've got a little wider view of the scene. Now, you're not going to notice a huge difference. If I were to type in something like 90, you'll see that makes a huge drastic difference, or even 20 is practically without perspective. So before we were at 35, we changed it to 45, and that's about right for us. Now what I'm going to do is just kind of use my navigation tools a little bit. I'm just going to use orbit and zoom and pan and orbit and all that stuff just to kind of get warmed up with the 3D view. But you'll see that what we've done now, just using those camera commands, these commands up here in the camera menu, is to just basically get ourselves into a 3D view like that. And it's really as simple as that.